Hello, everyone. I welcome you all to another episode in the Study Abroad podcast series. This series is designed to help study abroad aspirants who are looking forward to, move to US, move to Germany, or whatever country you would want to, study in for your masters or even undergrad degree for that matter, and what all newer formats are available in the market for you to explore. And you will have a lot of relevant insights from the experts during the series. And today, again, I have another highly experienced speaker with us, Mr. Anil Agrawal. About Anil, if I may say a few words, Anil currently holds a position at University of Arizona of Director Global Corporate Partnerships with South Asian Affairs at University of Arizona. Like I mentioned, in fact, he dons multiple hats at University of Arizona currently. He also teaches international business at University of Arizona. Before University of Arizona, he has also taught at University of Phoenix. So he has loads of experience as an educator in international education arena. Anil also holds a lot of industry experience. He has a lot of experience in sales and marketing operations and global business, whatnot. So today, Anil will be sharing his experience, insights from his student interaction, his time in the US as a student himself. And he's been helping a lot of international students pursuing their dreams in the US. So
Thank you, Shweta, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to discuss this topic with you. I look forward to sharing my experiences and giving your students the perspective on, what life is in the U.S. as an international student and how they can really fulfill their journey in the most enriching and the most successful possible manner.
wonderful. Thanks so much, Anil. Now that you're talking about life of international students in the US and what it actually holds, comes from. So, Anil, like I was just mentioning, that you've been part of, American education, and not just American education, but top universities in the US for a very, very long time. And you've seen it all. You've seen a lot of students, international students coming to US year after year, achieving their dream education and shaping their careers. And I'm sure that you must have also witnessed their struggles, through this path, the path which looks absolutely hunky dory to outsiders, but I'm sure there are definitely struggles. There is some hustle over there. So would you please be able to, share your observation when it comes to these students and their struggles?
Yeah, sure, Shweta. That's something that is very important for students to understand. First of all, the U.S., where I studied here for most of my higher education. I also studied in Canada for a while in higher education at York University, where where I started to do my MBA before I transferred to the U.S. at Eastern Michigan University to finish my MBA. Um, the U.S. is a very enriching place, and as people talk about the US and its environment, it is the land of opportunity for students who are willing to work hard. Secondly, as far as your education is concerned, be very aware that in the US, education is not spoon fed. Education is very, very proactive, where you have to study a lot and do a lot of reading and do a lot of projects on your own and in a group setting. Okay, so that's extremely important to understand that. Um, Faculty is here to advise you and give you some guidance in the classes, right? Faculty does not usually just go over the chapters in a book. Faculty share their experiences, they share live examples. It's a highly interactive session. So, third thing I will tell you is that when you're in an American classroom, be prepared to ask a lot of questions. Okay, make sure that you have done some pre-reading before in terms of the chapters that you're going to cover, and be prepared to interact and ask a lot of questions in the class as well. The fourth thing I'll tell you is that our American system is not based upon just exams that are done continuously. It is based a lot upon project study, group study. So you must have a lot of skills in terms of working with people, getting along with teams, and making sure that you can work together as a group. And the last thing I will tell you is that the road in America can get to be pretty lonely. You have to adapt yourself, make a lot of new friends. So when you come, first of all, there's going to be a big cultural gap in terms of where you are as compared to where you were before. But as compared to what it was 25, 30, 40 years ago, it's much different now. We have a huge Indian diaspora. You get a lot of stuff here. Everything is available. So don't worry about any of those perspectives. And the global economy and the global world has changed a lot. So you can really look forward to a very exciting experience in the US as an international student. And also, just to mention to you that there's a lot of jobs available for students on campus. You can reach out and work in any capacity in most of the departments and really help yourself in terms of the cost of the education itself.
Right.
So overall, I would tell you that it's a very enriching experience, and you will be far better ahead if you can make it here to the US and study here.
Absolutely. I agree with you. In fact, for that matter in life, anything which is going to change you and give you the outcome that you are striving for is not going to come that easily. When we talk about the education landscape, which is evolving all around the world, and US being the the leader when it comes to top quality education, and it's wonderful to see that US being the leader, they are adapting to all these newer models of education much faster than the other countries. But then there are also other good universities around the US which are, exploring models such as hybrid or blended learning or online formats, in addition to the traditional two-year on-campus learning formats. Now, because you have been part of many top universities, I would like to understand from you that what is the thought process and confidence from these universities behind these newer models of learning?
Shweta, you're very right. Definitely, the educational landscape has changed and is changing, continues to change pretty dramatically. Over the past few years, this change has been accelerated, especially when we had the unfortunate experience of going through a pandemic. The 3 or 4 years that created this atmosphere with the pandemic lockdowns really changed the dynamic of higher education in many different ways. Okay. And now, in study after study, we have found out that students prefer to have the flexibility of studying at home for a while, and then also having the flexibility of going to on campus for a while. So that's led to the rise of two different types of programs that US universities are adapting to very quickly. First of all is the online perspective. And there are a lot of fully online programs available now that are very high quality and are led by faculty at the University of Arizona and most of the other top institutes all across the US and even globally. In that scenario, most of the faculty actually record their lessons in an asynchronous manner, and those lectures are then delivered to the student at their convenience, and then they can hear those lessons, recorded lessons, answer those questions and assignments, and send those assignments online to the faculty. But that is what students are preferring, and the pandemic accelerated all of this and created that atmosphere where people started to think, oh, this is not bad. I can get a lot of time available for myself to pursue some of my own activities and do my learning as well. And they are getting a much more satisfying and fulfilling experience in a much more rounded manner. And it helps their self-development, helps their self-confidence as well. And in most cases, and I would say 99% of the time that I have seen, is that an online degree has the same credibility and accreditation as a on-campus full on-campus in-person degree. So there is no difference in the degree and the certificate that you get as compared to what you'd be getting if you came to on campus. Now, a better experience really for a student who wants to pursue higher education in an international university like in the US especially would be to pursue the new hybrid model or to pursue something as we call it a micro campus model, where the university has partnered with another institution like Great Learning or with another university in your home country, where you can do part of the program online or on the campus of that university that they have partnered with and learn from their support faculty. But in that case, also, a lot of the lectures are delivered by our faculty in an asynchronous manner in combination with the faculty from, let's say, Great Learning. So in that situation, the faculty at the other institute has highly qualified guest speakers from industry, highly professional people who are very much in tune with what's happening in the industry today, working professionals and so on, who will give you some tutorial lessons and help you learn and progress through that 1 year or 1.5 year of online journey. Now, there are significant advantages of that, of course, as you can well imagine. You are in your home country, you are actually working maybe as well, you are providing for your family, you have all the time in the world to adjust, to understand, to interact with faculty overseas occasionally, as well as, try to acclimatize yourself, prepare yourself for an education overseas. And then the best part of it comes after a year and a half. You've already prepared yourself, and now the hybrid model requires you to come to the campus, to the main campus. And there you get the full on-campus benefits of any international student.
But one very important point that you mentioned Anand, earlier, again, that these the online part of a hybrid learning is something that you need to be extremely engaged into, right? Then only you will be making the full use of it, because we at Power and call it best of both the worlds, that you are able to make the most of your time in the first year, and then you move to the campus better prepared for the challenges ahead. In
Right.
addition to that, I think that is the reason, because this needs certain amount of maturity, which is why many universities, I'm talking about all top universities, I was reading the other day that Ivy League universities are also choosing a blended form of learning. They're offering this. I think Columbia is offering this. University of Pennsylvania is offering this. In fact, Harvard is also offering a few programs in the blended learning format. So I'm sure they are very confident about the outcome which can be achieved out of a format such as this. But yet, most of these universities at yet are exploring this format for master's degree program, because of the reasons that you mentioned, that you do need engagement from your end. You do need to prepare yourself for some amount of self-study or self-paced study. Go prepared for the classroom session, absorb a synchronous part of the learning, do your projects on your own or with the chat group or with the cohort that you have, with minimum intervention from the faculty. Although the programs that we have with University of Arizona and other partners, many of these programs are a combination of asynchronous and synchronous learning. So it's not like that it's only the recorded sessions, but very regularly you interact also with the faculty members. And obviously,
Mhm.
like you mentioned, you interact with the industry experts who are going to only add to your entire experience and make it more enriching. But yes, I'm all ears to hear from you. In your opinion, what are those key benefits in your opinion that one should be definitely making use of by choosing this blended model of learning?
Yeah, great, Shweta. So let me elaborate a little bit on that. First of all, in recent studies and so on, it has been found out that a lot of the students, because of the changing environments and so on, and the desire to have more flexibility. Research has shown that students prefer to do part of their learning. Almost 75 to 80% of students surveyed prefer to do part of their learning in an online environment initially, so that they can reap the benefits of understanding what higher education is and having the flexibility of working as well, and then also getting acclimatized and used to it before they come to the US to do the on campus piece of it as well. Obviously, one of the biggest advantages is, from an international student's perspective, is the cost advantage, of course, right? So you can save as much as 15, 20 lakh of rupees, or actually you can cut down the cost of a master's program, which could cost you about $80,000, 75, $80,000 if you think about it, in tuition fees, which is usually about $40,000 a year. And then, if you take it twice, so you can cut it down by almost half, first of all, right? So that is one of the biggest advantages. Secondly, you don't have to pay for living expenses for the first year, and that amount to another 20, 25, $30,000 easily. So you are saving a lot of money in that area as well. So other benefits of that program is that the fact that you can, do your first year online and get all the experiences from the students, from the groups, and so on, and prepare yourself before you come down to the main campus, right? So that is a huge advantage for you as well, because you've already taken in most of the required foundation courses that you were required for you. And now you're going to come in and do all the practicals, all the on-site projects and so on, and interact with faculty. So you've already learned from the faculty, you have already got to know a lot of the faculty. So your on-campus experience is going to be so much more enriching. Okay. So it's the best of both worlds, where you're going to be combining both of these areas. And then the biggest perspective of this is that if you're coming in a program, which many programs these days are now STEM qualified, which is science, technology, engineering, and management, and those then qualify you to get your 3-year optional training, visa as well. So now you can, be in the US, you can get a job, and the job market in the US is extremely hot right now for all of these fields. And you can get a very lucrative job, and for the money that you spent, which may be about $50,000 or something or more in terms of your expenses for including living, you can easily recuperate that within a matter of 1 year. So your return on investment is very significant if you think about it. And then if you want to continue to stay here as well, you can then have your employer or another company that you're working for sponsor you, so that you can then apply for your permanent residence here in the US. In the master's program, we are talking about somebody who has to be much more proactive, take the lead themselves, understand the challenges themselves, reach out to faculty themselves, and do a lot of their projects themselves to attain success. It's a highly competitive world, students. Don't forget that. Right?
No, absolutely right. And in addition to what you mentioned as benefits, Adil, if I may add, this also opens up an opportunity to people who are perhaps, working professionals currently, and may have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders and may not be able to immediately quit and go for higher education for 2 years on campus. So for them also, this format opens up a lot of opportunity. They can continue with their current work and take care of their current responsibilities, perhaps family, their finance, all of that for 1 more year, and then they can also go to US and gain that campus experience, and look for jobs over there, gain some work experience in the US. If they want, they can come back or call the family over there. And so then a lot of the market of good education, top quality education, is also opening up to a lot more people who missed out on this opportunity when they were perhaps younger, or when they just graduated from their undergrad.
Yeah, that's right. And a couple of other things I'll mention, which is very important to understand is what kind of programs are more suitable for hybrid as compared to let's say, some other program that may not be suited to hybrid? Or what kind of programs are very suitable for online programs as compared to other programs that require your on-campus presence, right? Studies have found out that, MBA is a very popular program all over the world, obviously for many different reasons. The world of business is growing, it's very challenging, it requires a lot of talent, and the whole syllabus and curriculum of MBA programs is changing radically. There's a lot of courses within the business MBA program that require a lot of analytics now because the world works on data. If you don't have understanding of data and you don't know how to really analyze data and make decisions, then you are not an asset to an organization. So MBA programs are becoming very practical oriented as well. Nevertheless, MBA programs are very suitable for an online experience because projects can be given to you and you can do them online as well as submit your results to your faculty online as well. And you may ask as to how can I interact with faculty, especially in an online environment. Well, you can send them questions. You can contact them by email. Faculty in the US are very responsive. Okay, they have a responsibility that they have taken to really coach and teach their students. So they will respond to you. You can interact with your fellow students as well online to do your group projects. Now, the best case scenario, of course, is if you can do a hybrid program, then most of the other programs that require a lot of on-site project experience, you can do all of those programs when you come to on-campus, right? You can do a lot of the theoretical foundation programs around marketing, around finance, around accounting, economics, all of those areas, you can do them initially online and get a very good grasp on them. And then when you come to campus for a program like engineering, especially, or computer science, for example, or even business analytics, data management, machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, all of those programs that are extremely in high demand, you can come to on campus and then make sure that you do all of those required projects on campus and get that valuable on-campus experience, learning with faculty and doing a lot of projects in the labs, doing a lot of creative work in the labs, right? And also doing a lot of practical internships in different companies. University of Arizona and many of the other top schools have collaborations with most of the major corporations like Apple and Google and Dropbox and a lot of the big, huge medical companies and most of the major companies in Silicon Valley.
Right.
So all our MBA students, all our information and information sciences students, they all go on a practical internship to the Silicon Valley for a few months to do projects. And that fulfills their experience. Okay. So it's very important for you to keep that in perspective. Okay. So if I were you, I would certainly consider a hybrid program over an online program. I love to do students on campus. I love the interaction of students when they meet with other students and work in groups and clubs. And me personally, I like to interact with students live one-on-one, share my experiences. I was in industry in corporate America for 36 years in senior management positions, working for Xerox Corporation, Sharp Corporation, and many other major corporations. And I love to share my experiences with the students on an interactive basis. And a lot of our faculty are like that as well, okay? So it's very critical for you to think about it from that perspective and come to campus for your hybrid experience, for your second year, and learn. And then maybe you want to go on to do your PhD. You will build some connections. Most PhD students get a big stipend. They get a stipend to live. They get support in terms of their family. They get support in terms of housing as well. So you can pursue a higher education as a doctoral student, which are in high demand in the US as well. Or maybe you want to pursue a different career and get another master's in some other field. Now you've already done your foundation courses. So your other major could be in another field of computer science or in artificial intelligence or something like that to make you more highly specialized, right? And so now, if you take that other major up, you've already built the contacts. You may be able to secure a teaching assistantship, which reduces your cost of education, takes away all your tuition fees as a TA, and then you become a highly prized commodity. Because remember one thing, in this world today, companies and industries are not looking for general students, students with a general MBA degree or a market, students who are experts in, let's say, data management, students who are expert from day one, they can come in and contribute, analyze projects, analyze different situations based upon their experience at the university level, and translate those into the real world. So the more specialized you are, the higher the salary you can demand, and the better fulfillment you will have in life. So work towards getting a specialized degree in a specialized field. And what do I mean by that? Maybe you go into the field of AI. The University of Arizona has the only artificial intelligence lab in the US. Then we provide you with so much of onboard experience. Okay. Maybe you want to specialize in data analytics. You want to learn all the algorithms that Amazon uses in terms of recommending products to their customers. You could be an expert in that area and you'll be in high demand. Maybe you want to go into machine learning and be a machine learning a guy who's programming computers to understand all the different kinds of situations that are there in the business world that help companies make a decision, right? Maybe you want to become a market research person. So you're learning all the market research models in the university, and now you can go into a company and say, I can do market research for you in these areas and provide you with valuable data that can help you make decisions. Okay, so focus on those kinds of situations and understand what your market value will be. The best of both worlds is you can reduce your cost, you can have a much more balanced kind of a approach to education, you can have the flexibility, you can enjoy some time at home, you can keep working as a professional, and then take a 1 year leave of absence from your company, come in and finish your degree on campus, get all the valuable experiences you can, and then maybe you go back to your home country, or maybe you pursue some other careers. The
Yes,
whole world is open to you at that point in time.
definitely, definitely. It was a very elaborate understanding, and thank you so much. I would just add, a couple of things over here. You already answered. I had a question around, students often ask us that if I'm studying online the first year of the program, if I'm going through a blended program or a hybrid learning program, how will I be able to do my practicals? But like you mentioned that, the first part of any program for that matter is more conceptual and it's more foundation courses. I believe even when students go to campus for 2 years, traditional, on campus learning, then also students do take a few courses online, perhaps during summer,
Yeah,
right? To perhaps balance the load through the year. So,
right.
there being on the campus, also, you are making use of the advantages of some part of your courses being online, making it better use of your time.
Yeah, you make a very good point, Shweta. These days, students do take a lot of online, courses, And the reason behind that is, international students or students anywhere, actually domestic or wherever, they need to understand that you can take a certificate course with 3 courses, uh, and from an accredited institution, of course. You need to make sure these are accredited institutions. And by accredited, that means they have been certified, or they have been accredited and have been validated by a higher board of education. Okay. So go for a certified, accredited, validated program, which is very critical and very important for you to understand, instead of saving a few $1,000s. Okay. So that's the first thing I will mention to you. Secondly, if you can take some courses online, anyways, and many students are doing that, then those courses can qualify to give you credit towards your master's program. Okay. So that's a very important thing. It can shorten your program, it can lower your cost and give you more flexibility, right? And that is the way the world is moving towards these days. Gone are those days of doing complete in campus or on campus studies anymore.
Right.
You have to be able to adapt, and you have to be able to maximize your opportunities in the best possible manner. I'm not saying that you don't need to come to campus fully, if you want to. That option is always available to you. If you can manage it, you can afford it, and you are able to get into a good program, by all means, come here. But if you require the flexibility that most students want these days because of the way things are changing, opt for one of these two options, right? The other thing I'll also mention to you, as a graduate student, you come here, it's a very fulfilling experience, not only in terms of your education, but in terms of the environment that you're in. You meet a lot of students from all over the world, make a lot of new friendships. And that is the most amazing part of this whole journey. In my experiences, when I was doing my MBA, I met some students from Africa that I made very good friends. I made some friends from Colombia who were great guys. Of course, there were a lot of American students here that I made friends with. I made friends with some Jewish students who were from a different cultural background. And, the alumni network that you develop when you come here is extremely valuable.
Yes.
It can help you open doors for you, experience different kinds of, cultures in America, as well as short trips abroad or doing things outside, are all part of the experience that you gain when you come here.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And the alumni network that you talked about, that's also going to remain with you through the life. So that's perhaps one of the most enriching networking, opportunity that you would have when you are studying at a good university. Now, this also reminds me, and you briefly mentioned it too, that, when you but just because you want to be on the campus as soon as possible, and then finance is a constraint, but you sort of go past it by choosing a cheaper school, but then where the accreditations are not there, or which is not giving you certified or courses which is going to give you the career outcome that you are aspiring for. But just because you hurry to be on the campus, and you end up going to any random school without much of a research over there, because you want to be in the US, and you do not realize that just getting in any school is not going to really give you that fulfilling experience that you're talking about, right? So and a lot of research is definitely required at the students end, and it's always better perhaps to go for hybrid learning if you want to save on the cost, then compromising on the on the school that you deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So and when it comes to the blended learning or the hybrid programs, when it comes to the application process, so again, to put things in perspective, most of the programs that we have in hybrid format do not require GRE in the application process. And GRA, I believe, overall also is being waived off by many universities for a 2-year full-time program. But
Right.
the students who have been exploring abroad education in US were sort of convinced that they will have to write GRE, and there is no way without. Now that when the hybrid programs definitely do not need that as part of the application process, these students become skeptical about the process. They ask obviously questions around that. How university is able to assess my application if my GRE score is not part of it. So I'd
Right.
like to know from you that what universities or US universities are looking for in their profiles while assessing these applications for hybrid programs specifically.
Yeah, so that's a very good question. The GRE and the GMAT and all of those exams have become very controversial in terms of assessing the caliber of the students because, that is only one measure of what a student brings to the party, especially a student who has already graduated and has been working for a long time. It becomes difficult for them to maybe do so well in a GRE, but they may be very highly qualified students because they left college quite some time ago, right? So GRE scores may not be a true measure of their capabilities. And a lot of universities have therefore done away with GRE scores. Some programs do require GRE scores. For example, our top ranked management and information sciences program requires a GRE for entrance, which is a mostly fully on campus program at the current time, right? But inside of a hybrid program, we feel that a student's application is more important overall when we look at their statement of purpose. We look at their entire resume in terms of their work experience. We look at their entire experience in terms of what they have done in the community, what kind of accolades they have achieved over the course of their journey as a student or as a working professional, right? We look at their transcripts, which is highly weighted in the overall perspective. Students who have a good transcript, even though they might have got that transcript about 5, 7, 8, 10 years ago, that's still a very important measure of how they did in college. So a lot of the universities nowadays don't require a GRE for most of their programs. That doesn't mean that we don't evaluate the student in terms of their capability or in terms of knowing whether they are smart enough, or if another school requires a GRE, does that mean that that school is a better school? Not necessarily so. Okay. So keep that in mind as well. I can give you my own example in terms of, what my GMAT scores were. My GMAT scores weren't very high. I was at 550 or something like that as compared to some students who say, I have a 650, I have a 700, I have a 720. It's all very relative. Okay. So don't get hung up on GRE scores or GMAT scores. You can have a 550 score, you can have a great transcript, you can have some great letter of recommendation, you can have some great work experience, and you are done. You will be very successful. So measure yourself with your own confidence in what you have done and what you have achieved, and you'll be fine. So don't put a lot of weight in that. And our application process for the hybrid programs are very simple. And one of the best thing is for if you partner with the institute like Great Learning or somebody other micro campus, they will help you write your SOP. They will help you get your letter of recommendation. They will smooth out your admissions process for you. If you do everything on your own, there may be a place or a stage where where you may falter, okay, where you may need some guidance. So really, from a overall perspective, admission processes are much smoother in a hybrid program or even in an online program as compared to an on-campus program.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anil. Here, I would also like to mention, like you said, that GRE is just one part of the overall profile that one may have built over the years. So, which is where when you were talking about great learning and how we help students, we also help students in assessing their profile at our end before we send the profile to University of Arizona. And then we have time and again we have seen students who perhaps did perform so well during their engineering, which was like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, but then in the last 6 years they have gained enormous relevant experience, like as an AI engineer or like a business analyst or data analyst, and have worked in a variety of domains. And we truly advise those students to still go ahead and apply for the program, even if they're falling in the non-degree seeking category because their GPA is slightly less than 3. Because the experience that they have gained over the last 5 years or 6 years after they graduated from their college, that makes them absolutely a wonderful candidate who would be able to go through this program, which is a technical program, and will be able to come out and will be able to perform in the first few courses to convert their non-degree seeking category to a very degree seeking, well deserved category to graduate from this master's degree.
Correct. Absolutely right. No doubt. Yeah.
So, Anil, this was an extremely engaging conversation. And before I let you go, I have this one last question, which I often get asked from the students that I interact with. You see, we have been talking about the maturity that you need and what kind of possibilities you can open for yourself if you choose a blended format of learning. And we also talked about that, perhaps you when you come to the campus, you finish your master's degree. After that, you can also open doors to research opportunities or PhD or another master's or what you may have. And I must mention the cost that you are saving it in hybrid learning or blended learning also will be able to feed the rest of your aspirations, be it doctorate or another master's or being an entrepreneur or whatever. Really. So I believe it's not much of a difference in the first year when you're studying online versus you being on the campus. What are your thoughts on this, Akhil?
Definitely, it's a very relevant question. I'll address that in a few ways. First of all, I have a lot of students in my class who want to meet with me, but because of their demands on their time as well as my time, it becomes very difficult to find the right time to meet in person. So I would say that almost 60 to 70% of my interaction with my students and most of my other faculty friends are done via Zoom. Okay. So a lot of students will arrange a time with the faculty that's convenient to them through Zoom, and it's as good as talking in person. And they can interact with the faculty for 30 minutes or 25 minutes and so on, have their questions lined up, and they can get all the feedback and the suggestions they want as if you were in person.
Right.
So you have the best of both worlds. Don't forget, you're living in changed times now.
Right.
As you may have read in reports also in the newspaper and otherwise, in America, a lot of the workers are now quitting their jobs in many major corporations because they don't want to go to work 5 days a week full time.
Right.
They are demanding that they can work from their home at least 2 or 3 days a week. And at the university, it's the same thing. And where professors don't have to go to campus for some reason, they don't have a class, or even if they have a class, they can work out of their house, they can prepare their lectures, they can go to campus for their class, and then do whatever else they have scheduled. So therefore, for a student to interact with the faculty on a one-on-one basis is not that frequent. They do it via Zoom, they do it via email, they do it via phone calls, all that kind of stuff. So faculty interaction is important, and you can still get the benefit of that even if you're staying in your home country. You just have to adjust yourself to the time difference and request your faculty to be available at a particular time, and they can be flexible and work with you to help resolve all of your queries. And you will still feel part of the program as well, in terms of not feeling as if you are different from what a full-time student would be. on campus. So you get really a good experience overall. And sometimes you can work in groups with your other fellow students and you get the same experience as if you were on campus because a lot of the students are working on Zoom or on Google Meet as well,
Right.
even though they are on campus because of their demanding schedules. So think outside the box. Don't confine yourself to that traditional umbrella of how education was done. Things are not the way they used to be, or what you think are the traditional ways of how education is being given out these days.
Thank you so much, Anil. You shared variety of perspectives and insights, and um, I'm sure that this session, when people watch it, they will definitely be able to explore many other mediums and will be able to innovate in their, learning methods also to make the best of what this world has to offer to them.
Correct.
Once again, thank you so much. There was time difference when we are also, doing this podcast, and you were very, very kind to share your early morning with us. And you've been always helpful in answering our queries. So thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you for the opportunity, Shweta, and thank you to your team. I look forward to a continuing successful relationship with you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
And to all our viewers, I am very, very confident that, this answered many questions and many misconceptions that you guys might have had regarding the hybrid program. And today you heard from a university professional himself and how universities are thinking in today's age. Beyond which, if you have questions, you can always reach out to our team, to Great Learning's team of advisors. And we will be surely coming back to you again with another important topic with respect to your dreams of studying abroad. Thank you so much, everyone.